How do? And welcome to Two Cracks TV. I'm John. Thanks for joining me. And here she is, the Samsung Galaxy Z Fold 8. It's not going to be an in-depth review. It's just going to be just initial thoughts and impressions from a layperson, really. And that may apply to you. So something in this, hopefully in this video, will apply to you and you will find helpful. So just before going to the phone itself, I've upgraded from the Z Flip 6. So either fairly or unfairly, there may be some comparisons to that because that's what I'm doing a lot of the time. That's going back to Samsung very shortly, by the way. That's going into trading. So I paid 671 of you English pounds for this from Samsung. That was obviously with the trading. I got the pre-order discount as well. I get the teacher discount because I work in education and a couple of other things. And threw in a set of Buds Pro 4. I couldn't turn that down. They're excellent, by the way. Really enjoying those. Anyway, onto the phone. I'm going to start with the cons that I've found so far. It may not be the case for you, but these are the ones that stood out to me so far. And the first one is the punch hole camera on the inside, and I'm going to show you why. Now, if I just go to the, put that down there a little bit. If I just go to the settings here, into camera cutout. Now, say if you're on Amazon here, if you see the punch hole here. Now, when you're kind of scrolling along, to me personally, my eye is really drawn to that. Even though you've got this big expansive screen, when you're scrolling away, for me personally, it's like having a little fly on the screen. I feel like I want to just bat it off. Now, Samsung know about this. They obviously do, and they obviously know it will be an issue for people because they give you the option to take it away. But what I feel is in a really lazy way. It just gives you the option of hide the camera cutout, and as you can see there, you can hide the camera cutout area by covering it with a black bar. I think that's really lazy because if you see there now, I've activated it and now you've just got this one long black bar all the way down the screen. I'd have sooner they took out the punch hole camera so you could have the whole 7.6 inches of beautiful screen uninterrupted. And the way they've done that, I feel like that's really lazy. I don't like that at all, especially on a piece of high-tech hardware like this. And it's a big chunk of change, especially if you were paying retail. And it's a big chunk of change anyway. Back in the 90s, you could have bought a car with this type of money. So I feel like that's really lazy. Now, if you've got one of these folds and you're used to it, it may not be an issue for you. But that's annoyed me a little bit. Obviously, I've bought the phone now, it's mine. I'm going to get used to it. But it's something to bear in mind. It's something to bear in mind. Go in Currys and have a look and see if it bothers you. And so that's the first one. The second one, and this is not a fault of the phone or of Samsung, it's the width. Now, I didn't go in store and I couldn't have a look at one because I bought this on the pre-order, and it's right on the limit for me in terms of the width, and this is without a case. I must point out as well, I've got small hands. They look really big on camera, but believe me, they're not big at all. And I know that when I get a case on there, it's going to exacerbate that issue of width, and I could quite easily see myself fumbling it and dropping it, and Murphy's Law will probably says that I'll drop it on concrete or tarmac. I have got a few cases on the way. I've ordered a couple from Temu and AliExpress and one from Amazon, and I've tried to make sure that the cases I have ordered are slim ones and don't kind of add too much to the bulk. So if you have got small hands, or you think you've got small hands, then I would advise that you go to Currys or any other store that's near you where they have either the unit to handle in the Samsung Experience store, but I know they've got the dummy units in Currys, or if you're overseas, go into, what do they have in America, Target. Go and have a look and see if it's for you, because personally it's right on the limit for me. I went into the Currys today to have a look at the dummy phones, and I've been kind of umming and ahhing whether to send this back and should I get the flip, you know, because it's obviously I'm used to the form factor, I know the whole deal with it. I bought it now, like I said, I'll stick with it, but it's something, it really is something to bear in mind. It's just about manageable. It's just about manageable for me. I would not have it, obviously, any wider than this. So that's not a negative of Samsung, of course, because I knew what I was getting into. The next one is, and this may apply to you if you're used to foldables or flips, is the lack of flex mode. Now, if you don't know what flex mode is, it's a feature whereby you open a particular app, say YouTube, and what would happen is the app would split in half, the software would split that app in half. So all the controls would be on the bottom, and then whatever you had up on this, say a film or a program or whatever, would be on the top screen, and you could control it with the controls at the bottom, and that would apply for YouTube Music or whatever. But they've took it away on this. Why? I do not know. I do not know. The cynical part of me says that they will bring it back as an upgrade for the Samsung Galaxy Z Fold 9 next year. We listened to our customers and you asked for flex mode and we brought it back. You know, maybe I'm getting a little bit cynical in my old age. I don't know, because I can't see why they couldn't have done flex mode on this. Because Samsung were pushing flex mode really hard at one time. They were making it one of the big selling features of flips and folding phones, because it pops open. Even if the software was there, the flex mode software, you can't, because it pops open. Anything past 90 degrees, if you see that, it just pops open. But then you think, okay, they must have had to change something on this year's version. But when you close it and go the other way, if you notice, it won't pop shut. You can have it to any angle you like, right until up and down, less than a centimetre that's open, and I'm not touching the other side with my thumb. So they've done it that way, and yeah, I suppose you could have it in kind of more of a tent mode, but it's not the same experience as because I've used flex mode quite a lot on my Z Flip 6. So while they've took that away, I don't want to be cynical. Who does? So if flex mode is something that you're used to and you like, bear in mind you're not getting it on this. Even if they decided to add it as a software update, it can't, because the hinge is not capable. Just pops open. That's it for the negatives, really. I can't really think of anything else. Well, I've not come across anything. So I'll go on to the positives. And the first ones are the screens. They are beautiful. Just now, as you're watching it on the screen, on your phone or your TV or whatever, it will not do it justice. They're beautiful. And I think Samsung, I can't say for certain, but the PPI looks greater on this. It looks bigger because the text seems a lot sharper. I mean, the screens from Samsung are always bright and vibrant, but these are beautiful, particularly the inner one. Absolutely glorious, beautiful screens. So if you've never used one of these foldables, you're in for a treat, because the screens are beautiful. No complaints whatsoever there. Fantastic. The next one is, I'm going to turn the prior negative around flex mode, around the hinge, into a bit of a positive here, because the snapping action as it opens is really nice. It just feels really positive. It feels like, oh yeah, I'm looking on this front screen, oh, that's a little bit small, where's my readers? You know, I'm going to open up and go into the inside, and it just pops open, so satisfying, and it feels like you really mean business. So the hinge feels sturdy. It feels really strong. I feel like I could just do that all day, no creaking and crunching or anything like that. So well done, Samsung, on kind of, you know, the build quality on the hinge, even though they left out flex mode. The next one is, and this is related to the hinge as well a little bit, I suppose, is the way that it opens. It's really easy. The reason why I didn't buy the Fold 7 or the 6 the year prior was because when I tested them in store, my thumbs were slipping off as I was opening them. My thumbs were slipping off, I would say 2 to 1, which put me off it a little bit. But with this, that's not the case. It makes me think that Samsung has chamfered these edges a little bit just to make it easier to get into, because I just haven't missed at all. And what that does, it makes the whole experience really seamless going from the outer to the inner screen. So even though the outer screen is really usable, you could probably get away with it 100% of the time. But if you're looking, say, through pictures, or you're scrolling through reels on Facebook or Instagram or YouTube, and you think, right, let's get a closer look at this, it feels very natural just to open it like that and go to that bigger, brighter experience. So I can't say for certain, but I'm pretty positive they've done something to these edges here to make it a hell of a lot easier to open. So that's a very nice positive. The other thing is the weight balance in the hand. It feels very good in the hand. Like I said, I've got small hands. Typing one-handed or just using it. Yeah, I'm a little bit careful with it because I haven't got a case on, so I've been babying it. I won't want to drop it without a case, and it is very slippy, bear that in mind. It is slippy. It's like sort of grease on it or something. It hasn't, but it certainly feels that way sometimes, so I've been very careful with it. But the weight balance is very nice, and dare I say it, the weight balance feels nicer when the phone's open. When you've got it like that, it feels lighter when the phone's open and you're just holding it like that. It feels very nice. Feels like when you open it and you're using it this way, feels like there's a little wizardry, a little sorcery going on, that it actually feels lighter just because you've opened it. And I assume that's because the weight's distributed really well. And I was kind of mindful that maybe it would kind of feel top heavy, because my flip feels top heavy at times. If I was using it kind of one-handed, it would always feel like it was going to tip over on me at any point. And heights are very similar, the lengths are very similar, the flip's a bit bigger, but I don't get that feeling at all with this Fold 8. It feels very naturally balanced in the hand, so I think you're going to really enjoy that if you're thinking about getting one of these, very much so. And the overall build quality is very good. The buttons are very tactile, they're nice and clicky, there's no play, and they've made that power button, which doubles up as the fingerprint reader, they've made it slightly raised, and I'm only comparing this to my Flip 6, and the power button, capacitive button on that it's flush with the phone. And if you're using it with a case, it's easier to locate the power button and to unlock the phone. When you're using it without the case, it was tricky. I would use it with the case sometimes, just so it was easier to locate the power button. But with this, it's raised, it's very easy to locate, even without the case on. It's very nice. And just looking around the phone, the build quality is excellent. If you do get one in hand, and I'm sure you'll feel and appreciate that it's built very solidly as well. What else is there? I think that's it for now. I'm getting used to it really quickly, I must say. Apart from the few kind of negatives I've mentioned there, they don't feel negative enough for me to kind of discard the phone and say, oh, I'm sending it back. It's blending in, and I'm getting used to using it, and I'm enjoying that big 7.6 inch bright screen so much that, oh, I'll get used to this all right. I feel like it's just going to get better and better. I will come back at some point, maybe a month or two, and update and see how the experience has turned out. But so far, I'm really enjoying it. It's an amazing piece of technology, and I'm glad I got it. So I hope you found that useful. If you did, please give me a thumbs up. If you like my content, consider subscribing. I'll see you there.